How are we going? Here we go. It's the boy here. Dan at the B League says, coming at you with a Monday Night Football episode. We have two games on a Monday night, which is stupid. They kick off 30 minutes after the other or something ridiculous. It's stupid. It's stupid, but whatever. We're gonna kick off into some Monday Night Football props. It's your boy here with your B League Pick 'em show or something like that. We're going to cover the Jags at Bills and Washington at Cincinnati. Every Monday night, I give you three pick and plays over underdogfantasy.com. Promo code GF2 for 100% match deposit up to $250. There we go. It's $250. Unless Jeff says it isn't, I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Please be advised that this show is pre-recorded on a Wednesday, and this is obviously a Monday night, but here we are talking about some props, and this is what you can look at. Please have a look at the lines, see what's changed, and go from there. Use the noggin. I know you don't want to. That's why you're listening to me. But try it. It'll change your life. Either way, pick number one, we're going to go Travis Etienne, lower than 50.5 rushing yards. Look, he's sitting at around that 45 yards per game over the past 2 weeks, and it feels like the bubble has to burst for him one way or the other. Like, especially last year, it was like that one game, and he goes, bang, and goodbye, and then he doesn't look back. It feels like that start's been hindered by a guy called Tank Bigsby, who's had, he's had like 12 less yards on half the carries that Etienne's had. So he's doing better every time he gets the ball, you could say. So that's one of those things, like, it feels like he's probably been the more efficient play for Jacksonville than what Etienne's been. And that's fine, either way. The Bills have suffered what feels like a lot of injuries. This is even for the Bills, like, they suffer a lot of injuries on defense, but this is almost un-Bills-like and how early this has happened for them. They're on their third middle linebacker. It's week 3. They lost Milano before the season started. They lost Terrell Bernard last week. I don't even know the guy that's playing in them. I don't even know his name. That's where we're at for the Bills. Like, they're just pulling in guys that play special teams and doing this. Maybe it'll work out. Either way, but what happens is, look, the Bills front four, those guys, they're still intact, and they've been dominating a lot lately. So I feel pretty good about the Bills front. They get through maybe, but either way, look, the Bills have faced some stiff opposition already. Devon Chan and James Conner, they've held them up pretty well, about middle of the pack. So I don't feel like it's coming from Etienne on the ground this week. Pick number 2, it's going to be Brian Robertson. And you know me, I hate to go back-to-back on picks. I hate going, hey, it worked last week, it's going to work again this week. Because 1, I'm fancy as fuck. And 2, I feel like it's almost cheating in a way. But I kind of like Brian Robertson. I'm going to cheat with this one. So sunrise, sunset, the Bengals are getting slashed on the ground. Who's heard that one before? The Bengals' run defense sucks. Here we go. Look, before he got injured last week, Pacheco was killing him, which would seem like something that might happen. But then you throw in week 1, Ramondre Stevenson, he absolutely gashed him on the ground, over 100 yards or something, right? So it's the same old song, just a different tune. The Bengals' run defense is getting hammered. And look, they are one of 7 teams already to have conceded an average of more than 125 yards per game on the ground, which says a lot, So Robertson, and I hate to go back to the week after week, it was one of my favorite picks last week, and it's again this week. The benefit of having Eckler around is that at any point they can switch and go to him, and that's great for us as bettors because it's almost keeping the books honest. I know that sounds funny, but like, hey, maybe it's an Austin Eckler game. And in the back of their mind, that could be there. No matter what the odds are, that could be there, which is fantastic for us. So I think he's been a better option so far. Robertson's average so far is sitting around 65 yards per game as well. So we've got about a 12 to 15-yard discrepancy on that. It's probably going to come up towards the end of the week. So that sucks for you hearing this on a Monday, but right now I feel pretty good about it. But that buffer's there, and it's a nice matchup to boot. Pick number 3, we're going to look at Joe Burrow. That guy looks like he's about to snap, and that's fantastic. I think Joe Burrow is going to go off this week, and he gets the Commanders at home in prime time. And look, the Commanders secondary stinks. Baker Mayfield literally had his way with them, and as bad as Daniel Jones is, he nearly had 200 yards against him. And that doesn't sound like much, but if you've watched Daniel Jones play football, that's a lot. So that's like 450 Joe Burrow yards, right? So, yeah, there we are. So he looked half okay with neighbors. Now, we get Burrow, who had a rough week 1 against the Patriots, and then his team was half cooked. Like, there was no Higgins. Chase didn't play all off-season. It didn't look like much. But then, week 2, in Kansas, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the game, he cost them that game. He still fumbled the ball. You can say whether it was or it wasn't. Still fumbled the ball. That game fell on him. They'd have won in Kansas. He's going to go and lose his shit. And that's great for us. So, he gets a team that can get hammered through the air at home in prime time. Stop it. Burrow, he's looked frustrated at times, as too do his receivers. Iosivas is dropping everything except the touchdown. Unless he's in the red zone, he doesn't do much except score. You can have 10 targets in the middle of the field. He's going to drop every single one of them. At end zone, he catches it. I don't know how. I don't know why. So get on Yoshida's touchdown. That's going to happen. Did that last year. It's not like last week. He was doing it all last year as well. So it is what it is. But yeah, I feel like if there was ever a game to get right and click, it's this one. So I feel like this is a good one. He's going to go out and go, why did I write that down? Joe Burrow is going to go full January 6th and burn Washington to the ground. There you go. I wrote that last night. And I thought that would be funny when I come out and say that. It really probably is in my head, but it isn't. Either way. We're going to go over these picks one more time. Again, the two Monday Night Football games. And good luck to Kyle and Gladys who are covering these two games afterwards. I'm sure they're going to do a great job. Stay for the 2-point conversion. They're coming on in a couple of hours. They do a hell of a job, my favorite people. Hope they're doing well. We're going to go cover these bets from Underdog Fantasy. Promo code GF2 for 100% match your deposit up to $250. Pick number 1, Travis Etienne, lower than 50 rushing yards at Buffalo. Pick number 2, Brian Robertson, higher than 52.5 rushing yards at Cincinnati. And pick number 3, Joe Burrow, higher than 247.5 passing yards versus Washington. Hope you've had a great weekend. Lots of wins, safe bets.